Hello and welcome. Hopefully there's nobody trapped in the buffet lineup or out downstairs in the parkade. I hear the parkade is at capacity, and apologies for that. We have an exciting evening planned. After my part, that is. I've been charged with prosecuting the business portion of the AGM. And after, we'll be introducing new board of directors. We'll be giving you a demonstration of the CBT group medical visits, and we'll be launching and demonstrating the new Pathways tool, which will improve communication and make referrals in your office a heck of a lot easier. I'd like a show of hands. How many of you are physician members of the Victoria Division of Family Practice? Just raise their hands. I'm a fast counter. I would say officially we have a quorum for our AGM. Actually, I know we have a quorum because when we first developed our bylaws, we had a low bar. It was 5 people. That's back when we were mailing out stuff from Dr. Ihasso's basement. So the second thing I'd like to do is acknowledge some of our invited guests. We have distinguished members from our South Island Division of Family Practice here, including some board members. And I'd just like to acknowledge Dr. Vanessa Young, who is vice chair of their board of directors. Sitting next to her is their ED, Clay Barber. We have Ali Ferg and several other members of the South Island. Warm welcome to our South Island people. I'm Steve Goodchild. I'm a family physician in downtown Victoria, and along with my colleague, Dr. Catherine McKean, I co-chair the board of directors of the Victoria Division of Family Practice. I've been asked to officiate the business portion of this meeting tonight. I must say, chairing an AGM is like working a long shift at a residential care facility. You know you're having a good evening when everyone's fed, no one's acting out, and people are passing regular movements and motions. So on that note, I'm going to need a mover and a motion to appoint a chair for this meeting and a recording secretary. Now, I'll let my name stand to chair this meeting, and Dr. Valerie Ihasso over here has kindly agreed to be the recording secretary for this evening's business portion. Are there any other nominees? Can I have a motion to that effect? Dr. McQueen, seconded in many places. Dr. Verhulst, call the question. All in favor? You now have a chair and a recording secretary for these proceedings. Thank you very much. Now, in your board package that you've got, or your AGM package, you should have this agenda. I'm going to need a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's proceedings. Can I have a mover for that? Over there, Dr. Nirwan, seconded. Dr. Harris over there. Any additions, deletions, or gross errors in the agenda? I'll call the question. All in favor of approving that agenda, raise your hands. And the agenda for this evening is passed. You've all received the copy of the 2015 AGM minutes, and you've got copies in your packages in front of you as well. I'm going to need a motion on the floor to approve the 2015 AGM minutes. For the record, anyone willing to do that? Dr. Dabris and Dr. McDonald over there. Any questions about the 2015 AGM minutes? Call the question. All in favor of approving those minutes, raise your hand. And those minutes are approved. Thank you very much. And now I'd like to introduce my co-chair, who will give our director's report, Dr. Catherine McKean, and let the games begin.
Thank you, Steve, and welcome everyone. That was an exciting beginning and a quick movement to our beginning of this evening. I would just like to start by welcoming you to our 5th birthday. Everyone loves birthdays, and this is our 5th year. Thank you. And this past year has been a very exciting year. So we're excited to share what we've accomplished over the past year with you. So this evening, we have a bit of a trivia theme through our agenda. And the first, you may have noticed as you were preparing to get your drinks and your food that we had, why did it do that? To give away the answer. We have a new office. It's located, so you may have noticed that these questions were playing during the break. And we have a new office that's located in iconic Victoria area. Can anyone tell me the location of our new... our new building, our new office? Can anyone name our new location? So I need one person. There, we have a winner. So come on up and get your prize. Well, that was fun. So I'm Catherine McKean, the co-chair with Steve Goodchild. And I'm going to share with you our strategic plan. And as I was saying, our impact has grown, and in the past 5 years, we have evolved as an organization. All of our work derives from our division members' initial member surveys, focus groups, core working groups, and committees. And all of our original work is important to us, and all of our work will continue. So we have developed over the past 5 years a strong governance board with 9 dedicated directors from a diverse family practice background. We also have a team of creative, dynamic, and productive project managers that are sitting with us at the back corner. And tonight we also have some new bylaws. So with our firm structure in place, our primary goal is to collaborate with you, our members, to build Victoria as a healthy community with access to excellent local primary care. We also dedicate ourselves to developing alignment with our community partners, such as the South Island Division of Family Practice and other Vancouver Island divisions, and also sharing our work across the province with other divisions. Over the past year, we've strengthened our communication and relationship with Island Health and with other community researchers and organizations such as the University of Victoria, the Umbrella Society, and some of those people are represented in this room this evening. Tonight, I'd like to share our future plans, which are described in our strategic plan for 2016 to 2019. So our board came together in January and we discussed this plan, making sure that our most important goal was making sure that our work was driven by our members' needs. We are committed to being a grassroots and democratic organization, and we want to be valuable and impactful to you and to make a difference in your personal lives and in your professional lives. So this diagram, which you also have in your package, is one page of our strategic plan. And so I'm just going to walk you through this roadmap for the future. So at the top left corner is our vision. Our vision is healthy communities through access to excellent local primary care. This is our North Star, which will define our direction and our growth and where we will invest our energy and our resources over the next 3 years. Our vision is challenging, It's an all-encompassing statement about what we see as our desired future state. So looking down at the right-hand side of our page, you'll see our mission. Our mission describes how our strategic direction will support our community physicians to improve patient care and population health. So we have 4 target areas, which is to, I apologize about the font, but it's to foster physician engagement and professional fulfillment, to influence impactful decisions about healthcare, to partner with stakeholders for an effective and sustainable health system, and to support physician leadership. So now I'd like to draw your attention to these 3 concentric circles, which are the most important aspect of our strategic plan. Not surprisingly, we have placed family doctors in the very center, in the epicenter of our diagram, because the core of our work is to, and our strategy is to support GPs to provide quality care in their practices. So as I describe these 3 concentric circles, and through the evening, I think that you will easily see how our many programs fit with this particular model. It's easy to plug in different aspects of our initiative. So the center is supporting family doctors to provide quality care in their practice. So how is it that we support you in the community? We do that by one-on-one coaching and group education to improve your business skills and business efficiency. We do that through education, such as Dine and Learns and the ER tips and tricks. That's so hard to say. We're developing innovative practice models like Torch, and we're developing practice resources like the RACE, group medical visits for cognitive behavioral therapy, and tools and education models for more effective mental health and substance use care. We're supporting your innovative ideas, such as the Nurse in Practice pilot, and we are bringing about improved access to the health system. An example is the Pathways tool that we are presenting to you this evening. We also are helping you educate your patients about health resources, such as cognitive behavioral training, and trying to decrease the hassle factors that you face in practice, such as improving communication between clinical providers and improving our relationship with and the quality of information that is transferred between your office and the emergency with summary sheets. In support of the second ring is our support of primary care in Victoria. So that includes our recruitment and retention work that we're doing, which has included a website that's leading to collaboration across Vancouver Island and even a regional marketing strategy. We have care of the elderly groups, transitions in care, and we're ensuring that vulnerable people have access to primary care. That includes the work that we're doing with the Umbrella Society, and our walk-in clinic community has also identified that our population that we see is vulnerable and needs access to primary care. We're also changing access for people who are living in residential care and are vulnerable as a result. We're also improving the patient experience through Torch and the physician experience through mindfulness courses. And we hope ultimately that we're improving your experience of primary care. We're also ensuring that in the outer circle that we have an influence and a real voice in decision-making in the health system. So by supporting physician leadership and engagement with participation at the GPSC meetings, and by promoting and encouraging policy shift to emphasize the importance of primary care at both the provincial level and at the local level, we're doing really important work. We're also influencing the development of the primary care home and many other initiatives. So shifting now to the bottom of our diagram, which has the smallest font, we've highlighted our values, which is articulating our organizational culture and our philosophy. So our values are fundamental to and foundational to our work. The Victoria Division is committed to building collaborative and respectful relationships with our members, our partners, and our stakeholders, such as Island Health and the Victoria Foundation. We respond to local concerns through grassroots democratic action. We do this by listening to you. We invite you to participate in working group meetings and focus groups and dine and learns and every opportunity that we can to be face-to-face with you. We want to hear what your ideas are and how you would like to see change in our healthcare system. We would even like to invite you to a board meeting as an observer so that you can consider being on the board. Our work is to carry on with the message at the bottom. Our work is driven by our members' needs, which we identify through ongoing and meaningful education and meaningful engagement. And we explore both practice-based and research-based evidence, such as the Care of the Elderly Working Group, Torch, and our researcher has even joined us this evening, which is in support of our evaluation processes. And we also strive to effect needed changes in our communities and healthcare systems. We're striving to demonstrate responsible stewardship of public resources. So you, the members of our physician community, have built this organization and its programs. Our board is deeply appreciative of your accomplishments, and we thank you for your ongoing commitment. You have always answered our regular calls for participation in communities and in working groups, in invitations to events, and our calls to run for the board of directors. I would like to encourage you to continue to participate at all levels of the division work. And so to that end, as I said, I would like to invite any member who would like to join us at one of our board meetings to contact Elisa Harrison. You could join us as a guest and learn about perhaps what your participation at a governance level might look like. The work that we do is truly collaborative, and we hear your needs through participation in the working groups, the steering committees, your emails, your phone calls, your attendance at Dine and Learns, and your attendance at education events. This is your division, and we want to know what your needs are. We need your creativity, we need your innovative ideas, and we need your energy. We're combining many people's insights and efforts to make some critical system changes, and we're excited about another year of innovation with creativity and passion in building partnerships and programs to improve primary care in Victoria. So on behalf of the board, I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, and I would like to now invite Elisa Harrison to the stage as our executive director, and she will provide her executive director's report. And if there are any questions about what our strategic plan is or the work that we've done over the past year, this is an opportunity to ask those questions. Please don't be shy.
Any questions? Bueller? Okay. And now a word from our Executive Director, Elisa Harrison.
All right, thank you. Just have to figure out how to use the PowerPoint. Yay, it worked. Okay. So thanks everybody for coming tonight. It's always exciting to get to speak to you about what we've done in the course of the year. And this is a real milestone for us because, as Catherine mentioned and Steve has mentioned, it is our 5th birthday in a few days. And so it's kind of an interesting thing to realize how quickly 5 years have gone. But one marker is that I didn't need these to read 5 years ago, but now I do. So I'm going to put them on. So that's how we know we're aging. So these past 5 years have been a real ride. They've taken the division from an idea to a fully functional and operational organization. In our first year, GP members identified priorities for action. You needed better coverage so that you could take time off, better communication with the hospital. You wanted improved services for your patients, a collegial community, support to eliminate common practice hassle factors. You wanted local CME, a resource to help you link with specialists, and you wanted solutions to address the large numbers of unattached and orphaned patients. Since then, since you told us all of this in 2012, the division has supported your work toward those desired changes. And in the last couple of years, we've moved from a period of problem identification and scoping to one of developing and implementing solutions. You've made measurable improvements in the primary care system, and we can see clear signs of a culture shift from isolation and skepticism to collaboration and hope. So I want to stop for a second and look at a few markers of these changes. So, compared with 5 years ago, you now have day-to-day support for consistent and accessible practice coverage. So we have a practice coverage consultant who you can call or email anytime you need a locum, anytime that you know you need to schedule some time off. We have our website where you can post ads. There are different kinds of supports that we brought in because that was one of the things that people identified as their #1 issue. And we certainly haven't solved the problem. I know it's still not always possible to find a locum, but we're exploring other ideas. Cross-coverage is becoming more common. Other ways of covering your practice are definitely starting to take root. Now, many patients in Victoria still don't have their own family physician. There are about 31,000 unattached patients, and certainly we have not been able to find a physician for everyone. But as a result of your involvement with the GP for Me, we are happy to say that since September 2014, we've been able to attach 18,200 patients. Those are new attachments. There's also, now you'll notice a typo. It's not really a typo, it's actually a mistake on my part, on the front of your annual report where it says 35,000 patients have stronger attachments. The right number is actually 55,000 patients have stronger attachments, so that's kind of exciting. And 22 GPs have either relocated or returned to practice in Victoria. So those are some real objective markers of some improvement. When we first convened our Care of the Elderly Working Group in 2012, members identified a growing crisis in medical coverage in residential care facilities. Thanks to innovative new practice models like Torch and your uptake of incentives to encourage and improve practice in residential care facilities, we're now on a solid path to resolving this problem. And GPs have better communication with the hospital because we worked with partners to build e-notification, and the division is supporting evolving relationships with emergency, hospitalist, and family physicians. Another improvement. The division has worked with GPs and psychiatrists to help develop highly effective group medical visits for cognitive behavioral therapy. To date, more than half of the GPs in Victoria have referred almost 1,500 patients with depression and anxiety to these low-barrier, MSP-covered services, and patients are experiencing measurable improvements in their mental health. We're building community. That was another one of the big things that people asked for right off the bat. Monthly Dine and Learns and other CME opportunities provide ongoing education and professional development, and they also support networking and interpersonal connections that foster a strong primary care community in Victoria. GPs are receiving one-to-one coaching and group education to help develop their business skills and to ensure that their offices run as smoothly as possible. MOAs are engaged and active in quality improvement, and we're really happy to welcome some of them here tonight as well as we get into our work with Pathways. And Pathways, as you'll learn later this evening, is a way for GPs to improve their referrals to specialists. You'll be able to log into this website to get timely and accurate information about specialist services and their availability. So these are just some of the milestones that we've achieved, and they're really just the tip of the iceberg. Most of these are still works in progress with a long way to go to realize the full suite of goals and objectives that we've set out for ourselves. We continue to develop new initiatives and to push our existing programs further and to achieve even greater success. The division is completely indebted to the GPs in Victoria, who since 2011 have shown dedication to their profession and community. And also to, I have to say, to just your enthusiasm for changing and transforming primary care in this city has been completely contagious. Really didn't know what we were going to be doing exactly when we started this, but it's been amazing to see how people have really just taken up this work with such energy and commitment. It's not been easy. There have been a lot of really challenging problems, literally life or death in some cases, and I've just been so gratified to get to work with people who just do not quit. There's just nothing that is too big for you guys to try to work on, and that is just amazing to see. And I just want to emphasize that that doesn't happen all the time. Most of the time it's hard to get people to commit to things. This has not been the case here, so we are so grateful to you for that. We're particularly grateful to our longest-serving board members, Dr. Valerie Hasu, Dr. Kathy Debris, and Dr. Lauren Verhulst. These are three remarkable people. They've been involved since day one, and actually in Valerie's case, since before day one, because she was the one who picked up the phone and called doctors at BC and said, I think I want to start a division in Victoria. I've loved working with all of our board members over the years, of course, but I think we should recognize these 3 inaugural board members for their unique level of commitment, for investing a massive amount of time and energy in the division, and ensuring that the division has stayed true to the original vision and goals that members have set around building and serving your community. I also want to recognize, oh yes, please. I also would like to recognize our many partners. Without our partners, we just couldn't do what we do. There's virtually nothing that we do alone. Almost every single thing that I mentioned in those bullets and all the other things that I didn't mention require work with other organizations and other people. We are excited about new and evolving partnerships, like our linkage with the Umbrella Society for Addiction and Mental Health. This work is bringing direct support to some of our community's most vulnerable individuals, as well as the GPs who care for them. So that is really, really great to see that getting off the ground. And then there are foundational partnerships, and maybe the most important of those are our relationships with the South Island Division of Family Practice and with Island Health. Our work with both of those organizations, it's in shared care, in residential care, in recruitment and retention, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This is critical work, and our partnerships are comprehensive. It's no exaggeration to say that these relationships are the cornerstone of some of our biggest successes. And of course, none of what we do would be even remotely possible without our skilled staff. I am so proud of our team. They are really just a truly incredible group of people, and they make it a joy to come to work. Even on the hard days, we make each other laugh. I think I'd like to say we enjoy being together. I don't know if they would agree, but I'm going to say that. I love working with them. And as a staff team, you know, I think we just want to let you all know that we are here to help you realize your vision. We're here to serve you. We're here to help you find the professional satisfaction and the personal wellness that you deserve. We want to help you provide the highest quality of care for your patients. On any given day, we might help you with finding a locum. We might get you enrolled in a pilot project. We might help a new GP get settled in the city. We may come to your office to offer you direct practice supports, or run an event that introduces you to specialists, helps you learn something, and definitely serves you a good meal. Most of all, and at all times, we are here to listen to you and to help you turn your ideas for improvement into new practice realities. So together, we've come a really long way in 5 years, and there's still a huge amount of change necessary to meet our strategic vision of healthy communities through access to excellent local primary care. But the momentum is building, and we're excited for the 5 years to come. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you for all the work you do.
So again, thank you, Elisa, for your ED report, and thank you, Catherine, for your director's report as well. I would like to spend just one more minute acknowledging all the hard work that Elisa Harrison does. She's sort of sandwiched. She looks after the board and she looks after all the staff of this organization. She'll thank us all, but she'll ask for no thanks. And I just want to take this opportunity, Elisa, to thank you very much for all the support that you've given the board of directors. We'll be acknowledging board members today, but I want to acknowledge you now. Thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our treasurer, Jody Anderson.
Well, that's kind of a hard act to follow. So I have been the treasurer for the last year, and I just have I wanted to present some of the highlights from our financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2016. So our annual report includes 3 extracts from the financial statements that I'm going to speak to. The full financial statements, there is a copy at each table, and there's also an electronic copy on our division website for you to refer to later. They were audited by KPMG and received an unqualified audit opinion, which basically confirms that they've fairly presented all material aspects. And Amanda Gavilan from KPMG, who's our auditing firm, is in attendance today. So first off, our statement of operations. I know, this is minute, and so there are copies on your tables, but I'm also going to speak to the main points. So essentially, this statement of operations shows our revenue and our expenses. And the statement shows funding sources and then where we spend our funding, essentially. The revenue and expenses essentially match at $2.7 million, which is up by $1.2 million or 80% over the prior year, reflecting an increased level of project and infrastructure funding and activity during the year. If you can see the numbers at all, the second number from the top is the Residential Care Initiative. And we act as the fund holder for the Residential Care Initiative for our Victoria members. So the money flows from the Ministry of Health through us to pay doctors residential care incentive fees for getting involved in residential care. So please feel free to join up and get involved in residential care because there's money to be had. And the Partners in Care for the Victoria Division, you may have heard that term in the context of the South Island Division, some of the events that they run with GPs and specialists. But for the Victoria Division, that moniker refers to the work that we're doing in mental health and substance use, which is a new project for us in 2016. And we operate with matching revenue to expenditure, so we break even. We expect to break even each year, so the money kind of flows through us and all gets spent. And we would expect to end up with just to break even or to end up with a small surplus or deficit. And in the year ending 2016, we ended up with a small $830 deficit. And because our operations produce activity or services rather than a physical object, you can see that our biggest expenses are in the area of people power to initiate projects and then to fulfill them, essentially. So the next statement is the statement of financial position, and this is our assets and liabilities. So the highlight over the last year is that there's $1 million increase in cash, term deposits, and accounts receivable. That's primarily funding we've received throughout the year that is available for future spending on projects and infrastructure. In reality, there's quite a large amount of funding that we get that flows through our organization over the course of the year, and therefore, because the money is moving and we're expecting to spend it all over the course of the year, we don't invest in longer term, higher yield investments and really keep the money very accessible. And then the last statement, which is deferred revenue. So this is funding that was received but not spent by the end of March 2016. And we have nearly $1.6 million in this category, which is an increase of $1.2 million over the previous year. And the allocations shown in this table, but the largest components include the Residential Care Initiative, and again, that's funding that flows through us from the Ministry of Health directly. GP for Me, infrastructure, regional recruitment and retention, and transitions in care. And for instance, each year, money that hasn't been spent for infrastructure goes back to the provincial division office, and then we have to reapply for it through something called an innovation fund to say, this is what we intend to do with that. We kind of like a portion of that money back or all of that money back, and this is how we intend to use it. So, but it allows all that money to be up for grabs again throughout divisions across the province. So I would like to propose the following motion. The first motion is that the financial statements for the year ending March 31st, 2016 are received. So do you have a seconder for that motion? Lauren Verhulst? Great. Any questions about the financial statements? Now is the time to ask any questions that you have. Okay, seeing none, All in favor? Great. The second motion is that KPMG is appointed external auditor for the year ending March 31st, 2017. So again, can I have a seconder for that? Great. Martha McDonald. And can I have all in favor? Great. Thanks very much. I'll turn it back over to Steve.
Thank you, Jody. We're on the home stretch with the arms raising motions and that sort of a thing. I'm looking for approval of the proposed replacement bylaws, a copy of which you should have all received electronically, and hopefully you have some at the tables there. Let's see if I can, aha. BC has a new Societies Act. As of November of this month, all societies in the province must revise their bylaws and come into compliance. It's non-negotiable, it's provincial law. The two most significant changes to the division are creation of 2 member classes and the composition of the board of directors. What's this all about? They're not picking on divisions of family practice. These changes in the Societies Act apply to all nonprofit and societies across British Columbia, and in part to help with conflict of interest issues. So one of the big issues that we've had in our board is that the new Societies Act says that 50% or less of the board members can receive other non-board income from the association or society. And that's for conflict of interest. So what does that mean in plain English? A lot of our board members are practicing family physicians, and they receive flow-through monies through the division for things like residential care initiative, for their residential care patients, that sort of a thing. So they would be ineligible to receive those monies if they step on the board. And gosh, it's hard enough recruiting for the board as it is. So what we've done is we've sat down with legal counsel and we put our heads together and we've crafted a new set of bylaws that give us the flexibility to morph our board to becoming compliant with that. For example, with the addition of non-voting members or physicians on our board that may not accrue those benefits through flow-through money, that sort of a thing. And then we've got the two member classes as well. So we can have a discussion about these, but we will not have an opportunity to modify them or pass them piecemeal tonight. As recommended by our legal counsel, they must be approved in their entirety or not. So now I hope you're on the edge of your seats with bated breath. I must read this verbatim. While the bylaws are being approved today, they will not come into force immediately, but only when the society transitions to the new legislation following November 28th, 2016. This is because the new bylaws have been drafted for compliance with that legislation and therefore cannot be brought into force until that legislation becomes effective. Until that time, the current bylaws will remain in effect. Okay, now the exciting part. The special resolutions. Be it resolved as a special resolution that the current bylaws of the society be deleted in their entirety, and that the form of the bylaws attached hereto as Schedule A be adopted as the bylaws of the society in substation for and to the exclusion of the existing bylaws of the society. Wait, there's more. Be it resolved further that the above special resolution and the replacement bylaws set out in Schedule A will take effect on the filing of an application to transition to the New Societies Act to occur as soon as practicable after November 28, 2016. We will need a motion to adopt this special resolution as read and a seconder. If moved and seconded, open for discussion and then vote. We will need at least 75% of the voting members to approve in order to pass this. The bylaws must be approved or not as presented. No amendments or substantive changes at the meeting. In plain English, that means that you're approving this package that you got electronically, and it won't come into effect until it's reasonable and coherent with the timing and the legislation. I need a mover for these resolutions and a shaker, or a seconder, sorry. Do I have a mover for these resolutions? Dr. Aaron Childs, do I have a seconder? Dr. Jeff Inman. Okay, questions? Any questions about this? Again, it allows us some flexibility. We have a range now on the size of the board that we can bring in, and the composition of the board, and we'll be looking at this and slowly morphing into compliance over the next year or so. We do get a grace period. Call the question. All in favor of those special resolutions? All opposed? Congratulations. You now have a new set of bylaws, and your quorum is slightly higher than 5. Now I would like to acknowledge the 3 directors that are stepping down this year. Could you please hold any applause and acknowledgement until the end? Where's Lauren? Lauren, can you stand, please? Dr. Lauren Verhulst was instrumental in starting this division as an inaugural board member. And Lauren, you've made tremendous contributions, not just at the board level, but as the chair of our GP for Me steering committee and many other working groups. Now, I'd like to acknowledge Martha McDonald over there. Stand up, Martha. And Martha, you've only been with us for 2 years on the board, but your insight and contributions to board discussion are greatly appreciated. And the perspective you brought from your work in Alberta was absolutely terrific, and I thank you as well. And now we have Jody Anderson over there, and Jody, stand up too. And gosh, Jody, you've made a major impact on our board and as treasurer, and we've all been the better for your MBA business skill set that you brought to the table at our board, and we thank you for that as well. Now, I'm going to ask all 3 of you to come up to the stage. We do have some gifts for you, and I'd just like to say that all 3 of the outgoing board members have agreed to continue to participate in supporting the committees and working groups of the division, and I really appreciate that as well. Personally, and on behalf of all the rest of the board, I have to tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure working with all of you these past years. And on behalf of all the members here and all the members of the division, I would like to sincerely thank you for all your hard work that you've done. Thank you very much. Martha? There you go. Jody? There you go. Thank you. And as you might guess, it's time to confirm the 2016-17 Board of Directors. Please stand and wave when I call your name in alphabetical order. Dr. Ian Becker, Bill Bullock, and welcome. Kathy Dabras, Valerie Hasu, Steve Goodchild, Jeff Inman, welcome. Catherine McKean, Tim Troughton, welcome. And Lisa Varish. Our newest members were elected by acclamation as the number of candidates matched the positions available, but we'll need a motion to elect the new board by acclamation, the new board of directors. Motion by Dr. Tresseur, seconded by Dr. McQueen. Call the question. All in favor? Congratulations on your new board of directors. And let's give a warm welcome to Bill Bullock, Jeff Inman, and Tim Troughton. Trivia time. Okay, hang on a second. Go. You, Dr. Williams, come on up. Congratulations. There you go. You had the loudest voice. Any other business? I think that's even a part of the agenda. I'd like a motion to adjourn the business portion of our AGM for 2016. Motion to adjourn. Dr. Varish, Dr. Dabras, all in favor? That concludes the business portion of your 2016 annual general meeting.